and who must have done one hell of a sales pitch because Brian was all fired up to start his version of Teachers Across Borders Australia Incorporated. Now, I know it would have been an absolutely huge leap of faith in that first year. I think there are some of you here that actually came on that very first trip when you didn't know where you would be teaching, you didn't know if people were going to be coming, just absolutely no idea of what was going to happen. And now in Battambang, I think this will probably be the 12th workshop program at Battambang, and everything is laid out so precisely about when I have to make the contact with different people and who I need to speak with and who to put my trust in and all of that, that I'm going to be leading it. Brian always said to me he was as nervous as anything until the first day had finished, and then he could relax. And I used to think, oh, come on, Brian, you know, it's all go smoothly. Running the program this year, I'm on tenterhooks, so I'll be a nervous wreck, I think, until the program has finished rather than the first day. But Brian,
don't forget your offside.
Oh, the offside is Alan and Claudio, where would we be without you? But it's not about you tonight, darling. And of course, Marg, every step of the way supporting him, and Marg doing such a brilliant job with the early years literacy, aided and abetted often with Linda Ludeman, but always producing these magnificent big books that Claudio and Alan, I know they have plenty of things to say about the photocopying of those and the distribution, but each year the teachers went back with an enormous resource to share with their class. And again, none of this would have happened without Brian's vision. So I thank him truly for having that vision. For Claudio and I presume for many people here, it's actually added something to our lives. We have made so many friends in Cambodia, and we've made so many friends with other teachers that we probably wouldn't have crossed paths with. So that you really have influenced a lot of people's lives, Brian, not only the Cambodians who you knew, you set out with the aim of trying to help them, but this notion of including people, giving people an opportunity to give back, because I think a lot of teachers, that's what we really want to do. We've been inspired by different people, and we try to pass that on. So, Brian, I think you've done an absolutely brilliant job in inspiring all of us, and especially those early adopters who joined with you in that first year in the leap of faith. But as some of you might have heard, with all the technical details that we have to go through with our very, very speedy AGM, and I wish you weren't listening to the AGM today, so my apologies for that. But you can see that there is a lot of technical detail that is required for that. So, you know, and we're all very willing to give of our time because we believe in what we're doing. So, Brian, thank you so much. I don't know that I thank you for leaving me in the lurch to leave that in mind, but thank you, Brian. Thank you. Did you want to add something?
Yes. Well, after spending 6 months in Thailand teaching Thai
I think
students,
you should come to the front.
teaching Thai students, I was somewhat distressed about teaching students, teaching kids English. And one day I came home and my girlfriend had the article that Brian had put in the paper saying, I think this is it for you. And it was about teachers teaching teachers. And I was just so excited. I raced to that first meeting. I put my hand up to be finance person, which is absolutely insane if you have any idea what I so desperately wanted to be a part of it.
I even tried to get her out of the job.
And it has been a joy. Our first trip to Battambang, it was basic. It was dusty. It was warm gins on the roof, but
Wild West
and
town.
it was absolutely, and it was just fabulous. Yeah, and I was totally hooked in. I think our footprint in Cambodia is quite gentle, and I think we take care with that, and I think we have embraced and nurtured many young people in their strive for education and their learning, and I feel very proud of that. And I think the constant analysis we do of where we are, you laid a beautiful foundation, Brian, and we all celebrate that, and we're all very much proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Can I talk? This lady was before me because you were doing workshops in Siem Reap with the Americans, weren't you?
No,
Yeah,
No, I think
you-
Oh, you were at the first meeting as well?
yeah, but I can.
Yeah, you were first.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the whole story. It was just life-changing to go over there. I grew up in a household that was very poor. My dad was a greengrocer, but poverty for me was our reality. Poverty for most people is what they see on the screen. Please give $30 a month for this kid. They see that, but they don't experience it. And actually experiencing what that was like on the ground, that was my life change. And I came back and I said to Mar, I'm wandering around Eastland at this stage and couldn't believe what I'd hit from what I'd just seen in Vietnam and Cambodia to what we had in Australia, and to wander around that consumerism. And even now, Marg knows I just love going shopping. I hate those places big time. I just don't like them and what it means. But yeah, it was really life-changing, all that. I put some notes down here because I don't want to forget what I want to say. And that's an issue of old age, isn't it, Ken? I've said here 2006 saw a complete change of life for myself and my family. I think at that stage 2 of my children were married. You weren't married then, were you? 2006, you just got married, yeah, that year of that year? Okay, this is my youngest daughter. Tower of support in what we're doing, because my other children disappeared. They went to Perth and overseas, and this one's had to put up with us at home. Yeah, that's a bit long haul.
No, I said I'm in it for the long haul.
You're in it. So
They're out nursing home, look around.
I don't want to go into all this story because many people have heard it, and if you want to, I'll talk to you later. But the change that I came back with has changed a lot of people's lives, and you're all standing here. And one of the things that struck me when I got the article in The Age was the number of people that actually turned up to the meeting. There were 30 people rocked up, and I was blown away by that. And 4 people, Marion and Marita and Paula, and Marg and I.
Susie.
No, Susie didn't come on the first.
Susie was there. I remember.
You were, sorry.
Get the photo out.
Anyway, I'll get the photo out. It's the one on our website anyway. Yeah, and Linda, who couldn't come tonight, came on our first trip. We didn't know right up to arriving in Cambodia whether the program was actually going to operate. We had 20 people on the team, we had 10 workshops, we had 4 days, and we had no venue, we had no hotel, and the approval hadn't been given till we actually arrived in Phnom Penh. And it was a bit of a nightmare, and I can still remember it. His Excellency Nut Bun Roon, who was the Under Secretary, sitting me down and saying, too many people come to our country and do to us. And then they walk away, they sign their reports, and they leave and they wave, but there's nothing left behind. He said, don't do that to us. And I've taken it on board. I didn't want to see us as imperialists in another form. And I was really careful, and I have been the whole time, that we're there as colleagues with Cambodian teachers. We're not there to impose, we're there to share, and we can learn from them as much as we can give them. And I think that's been the essence of what we've been trying to do as teachers, is to share our experience. Many here have played a pivotal role in the development and the expansion of the program, from curriculum input, program operations, AusAid certification,
Thank you, Jenny.
ADO approvals, program agreements on an ongoing basis, new programs, visits to Cambodia to check on program applications, appraisals after the workshops have been completed, and just recently a major review across all programs. This lady here has been one of the, I was going to say thorn in my side, but Marianne's been one of those people that doesn't take anything for granted, and you can't just make a statement and think you're going to get away with it. And her and Marita would constantly question, why are you doing it, what are you doing it for, how's it impacting? And I think they are really good questions all the time to be held up to us, so that we just didn't take for granted what was going on. I did listen, Marianne.
Yes, I know you did. Thank you. They're important questions.
Yeah. My vision initially was to run a workshop, and that's grown into workshops, support for schools and orphanages, schools, programs, teacher support, train the trainer, visits from Cambodians to Australia, support for individuals to complete uni and college courses in Cambodia and also in America. Approximately 300 workshops in 3 centres have been held over the period of time. I've estimated that over 6,500 teachers and student teachers have attended our professional development programs, and these workshops have been led by 400 to 500 teachers, mainly from Australia, but also from the US and the UK. It's been an amazingly large program over a period of time, and it's grown and grown and grown. And it's impacted, you're just a small group of all the people. I remember one person, and I can't remember his name, he was on the first program. He lived away from the hotel we were at, and he...
Steve.
No,
He was a
guy who wrote the
He wrote Changing the Age.
he rode the bike each day. Was he the one who rode the bike?
Secondary.
Yeah, he was secondary, and he used to write, but he was so totally disillusioned with teaching in Australia. And when he came back, he totally fired up again and took off. Now, I've never had contact with him since. But
Yeah,
I
I
can,
have. It was life-changing for him.
and I can still remember the look on his face when he left, and he said, I'm re-energised, I'm back into teaching again. The impact of TAB on the lives of hundreds of teachers, their schools, and as a result their students over the past 11 years is huge and ongoing. The enthusiasm, the individual input of presenters, committee members here in Australia, and our colleagues and friends in Cambodia has fuelled the growth, the impact and the positive outcomes of TAB philosophy. I'm sure if you all shared your experiences here individually, if we had time, we'd hear some amazing life-changing stories, not just from me. Fundraising, numerous forms of fundraising. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars over the 10 years. Individuals, companies, Rotary, schools, parent organisations, golf days, concerts, and that goes on year after year after year. And after that first, I'd actually agreed to underwrite the first program, much to Marg's horror, because we knew how much it would cost, and the money just rolled in. And then every year after that, all the money was always there. We never ever had to dig into savings to run the programs, apart from the travel. I'm going to mention a few people, but in doing this, I don't want to not acknowledge everybody, because it's a dangerous thing to do. Mark, who's pushed and prodded me and challenged me, particularly in the early years. Susie, with her quiet and determined leadership and willingness again to push and prod and expand my thinking and the possibilities that the program could offer. And her seemingly unflappability in dealing with me.
Are you talking about not me?
Jenny Osler. I don't know how we got you onto the program, but it was just...
That article in the
It was just amazing. And every principal needs a deputy principal like Jenny. I was a fantastic principal because I had wonderful staff behind me, and I could really look really good because all the work was being done back here with all these people, and that's happened here again. Jenny's impact on this organisation cannot be underestimated in what she's done. The development of processes and procedures. I'm not a detailed person at all, but Jenny certainly is. And I've underpinned the long-term development of TAB and its ongoing impact and success, especially with AusAid. I can still remember sitting in our home in Baronia and on the phone to trying to get through, you know, trying to get the wording right and spending hours and hours and hours of it. And her relentless pursuit of me in the detail of running the organisation. As I said, I'm not a detailed person, but Jenny knew it and just kept at me until things were done properly. Jo has been a driving force behind the ongoing running of Battambong and the committee and its subcommittees, and her curriculum knowledge is encyclopedic and has just been amazing. Sue, Paula, Linda, Pauline's not here tonight, all those who've given year after year of their time and money and professional expertise in ensuring that we share with our Cambodian colleagues relevant teaching and learning methods and ideas without being, as I said, imperialist in another form. And all my new friends at TAB. It's just been an amazing journey. We didn't know where this would go. I thought it would last a couple of years, but that's not occurred. That's just gone on and on. And now I stand here and go, wow, it's just going to keep going. And that alone is very humbling to see something like that just continue. Marg and I last week were giving a talk at a Probus on TAB. We haven't stopped doing what we do. We were raising some funds, even though it was only a small amount. It'll be in your account tomorrow. We love sharing about the work. People have been very generous to us, not personally, but for the program, because we've made a commitment to the program ourselves, but people have given a lot of money individually to us, as they have to you people through your organisations, your schools, friends, whatever. So thank you very much. Thank you for this this honour tonight. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that you've all come and, to share in it. And I really look forward to reading the stories in the newsletter that comes out regularly, Sue. But I really look forward to that, and I still like getting the minutes and things and reading what's going on. So please don't leave me out of it. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for continuing to do the work. Thank you.
Here's a really small gift from us, just a little reminder of the journey.
Oh dear.
And of course with Marg and those big books, and Marg was a presenter for many, many years, even when she was having some trouble getting around, she'd still be out there. But one of the big things that I'd noticed was in terms of the friendships and the inclusiveness that Marg and Brian had for everybody who came on the programs, but also all the people who were assisting us. So the tuk-tuk drivers are like family now, and they rush out and greet us and hug and give us updates about their families and how they're growing, and they do look at Grandpa Brian. Yay and tay. So very much. So Marg, we thank you very much as well. And I think there was a gift for Marg.
Yes.
Yep.
Right here.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank
We
you,
should
Marg.
Thank you. Yes. Susie.
I'll put on your thanks, Claudia.
Can I? Who did the cake? Who's the...
Sarah Kane, who is an undergrad, or she's doing postgrad